I'm Rachael Price, coming to you from Portland, Oregon. I am in a band here with my husband Luke Price. We're called Dean, and my main instrument is the voice. So I've also been trying to practice tenor guitar, which if there are any tenor players out there, let me know. I've been working on, I just noticed recently that when I get called up to sing a song maybe in a lower or a higher key than I normally write in, I think I've just kind of slipped out of practice of continuing to extend my range and trying to keep those areas strong. So just working on range a little bit and how to strengthen those parts of your range that maybe feel a little less comfortable. And once you get to those ranges, working on placement, I call it, where to place those tones within your face and your body that might make them sound better when you do have to sing those notes that are a little less comfortable. So placement and tone, and just working on expanding my range. So a few things that I try to do to start my warm-up is lip trilling, and I'll try to start a little bit lower than maybe I'm comfortable singing in my full voice. Maybe go up a half step. So lip trill is just a good way to kind of get you engaged with your breath, wanting to take deep breaths, almost like scooping it from the floor. Your shoulders shouldn't be moving at all. I can tell when I get a better breath because that low note just then, I actually hit the note, even though I'm just lip trilling. So I usually like to start practice by warming up with lip trill and going through, there's lots of different ways I like to do it, like 1-5-1, or and then all the way up to the octave, lots of different combinations. But just starting out slow and relaxed, thinking about connecting your breath with your body is what I like to do, just to kind of start, working out, but maybe with light weights is what I think of for lip trill. And that does strengthen the muscles. So even just lip trilling my lower register and my higher register more often, then I'll be able to expand my range and sing more effortlessly in those high and low places. So even that right there is probably enough if I could just be doing that, when I'm driving and walking around or pulling weeds or whatever I'm up to, working on those registers. So then when I am going to sing words with those, I thought I would try a few things that I might be working on in practice. So like right where I start lately feeling a little uncomfortable, like it's not as present as I want it to be with the sound in my low range, is probably like a G3. For a lot of you that's probably not low, but for me it feels a little low. So I'm just gonna work on some placement stuff. This is a spiritual that was written in 1919 by Nathaniel Dett, I believe. And this version, I think, is a version of that spiritual called I'm So Glad Trouble Don't Last Always. So let's see here. So what I'm going to do first is just kind of sing it in the placement of like, ah. I'm really going to throw it back almost like I'm yawning. I'm so glad, I'm so glad, trouble don't last always. I'm so glad, I'm so glad, trouble don't last always. And I would probably practice it plugging my ears a couple times to see how it feels in my body. I'm so glad, I'm so glad, trouble don't last always. I'm so glad, and then I bring it forward a bit. I'm so glad, I'm so glad, trouble don't last always. So what I'm looking for is a place to place that where it feels the best to me, where it might sound the best. So probably a combination of those two. Some yawny space, I want it to feel full and not thin, but enough direction to bring it forward and presence the tone a little more. I'm so glad, I'm so glad, trouble don't last always, last always. And then what I would probably do is sing the whole song like that and really just focus on where I'm placing my tone to practice getting comfortable singing those low notes and just strengthening that muscle.